Back to the main character, she just talking to herself, picking a new skill out of a handful of abilities in front of her. But later she chose the Cursed Evil Eye skill, which inflicts a curse to her field of vision. Next, she wants to test it out right away to a frog monster nearby. Then she shoots the enemy using it, and then it's slowly taking effect, depleting all its stats. Later, as it approaches like a broken puppet, it collapses in front of her, defeating it with great ease. Back at the school dorm, the group is discussing about the whereabouts of other people who also reincarnated like them. And Oka answers that some of them, she made sure that they are safe in the elf village. Although 3 of the people's location is a secret, she says, and Katya got mad at her for being sneaky about it. Oka added, she has her own reason for not telling them for now, while Faye the dragon says she thinks she's an exemption for reincarnating not as a human. Off the topic, she also advises the 2 that they must not improve their skills too much because it's too dangerous. 12 selected students were called to participate in a special training outside. And with this, 2 teams will gain experience on embarking an environment filled with wild monsters. The other goal is to gather medicinal herbs from the mountain itself. After that, the teacher started to divide the students. The brother and sister got 2 different colors, that means they are separated in this kind of activity. On the other hand, Shun is being teamed up with the hostile Hugo, which he is not looking forward to be with. Katya approaches the boy before leaving and tells him to try and patch things up a little with their classmate Hugo. Soon later, Oka, who's also included in Shun's team, is worn out already from the long hike, and Hugo wonders if she even have a stat that aren't too shabby. Shun helps with setting up of the tent, then the classmate thanked him as he praises the boy for slaying the fearsome dragon the other day. This just irritates Hugo even more while listening nearby. The teacher then tells them that they can now explore the surrounding area, but warns them not to go too far and must come back after an hour. Later, while Shun is gathering some herbs, he hears something troubling from the direction of his classmate, so he runs towards that direction. Suddenly a blaze of fire was intentionally directed to him, and out of the smoke comes out Hugo smiling. The hero asks for the whereabouts of their classmate Parton, but Hugo just dismisses to answer that. Hugo added, Shun is better off quitting on this world because he plans on ruling it. Now drawing out his sword, and telling the hero he doesn't need him to be here anymore. Shun then stands his ground and analyzes every skills of his opponent. He is worrying about the Emperor's skill, which is unknown to him, and quickly has been attacked by Hugo. For the villain, he thinks this is easy, because the hero is leveling up without using his skill points. The squabble continues as Shun struggles to keep up with Hugo's swordsmanship and his mad idea to be king someday. The villain plans this already. After he gets rid of him, his goons will set loose a monster and they will tell people that it mauled his classmates as well as the others. The idea is to make him look good that he slayed the monster after avenging his fallen comrades. Shun says no one will believe you and you're also insane. Hugo is now trying to finish the hero off for his grand plan, and even mocks him for slaying the Earth Dragon before, but now he is just weak. As the villain is about to use his fire sword on him, a wind of gust blows on his direction, knocking him off where he stands. Now appears Oka out of the shadows just in time to save Shun. She also tells Hugo that his goons have been all arrested, and that she already taken care of this so-called monster by herself. The villain tries to fight back, but is quickly subjugated by Oka with her wind magic. She then hypnotizes the guy to agree on some terms, making his stats deplete by the seconds and removing most of his skills as well. Oka explains, from now on you will only live in this world as an ordinary human being. And with that note, the activity has been cancelled and they plan to head back to the school early. During their past life, Shun is sitting with his 2 classmates while watching others play soccer. Oka in her past life is a bubbly teacher, telling her students that they will have an outdoor lesson for today. Now outside, Katya used to be a boy before being a female in the other world, and says he's not much a fan of doing some outdoor stuffs. Hugo used to be good at sports. He invites everyone to come and play, instead of just sitting around all day. Later they all play soccer. Now the ball has been passed to Shun and then successfully scores a goal. Hugo praises the boy and they seem to get along really well from their past life. After that, Shun gets thirsty and decided to buy some drinks, not realizing that there's a student named Negishi just behind him. He's a little weird, and stares at Shun with his cold dead eyes as he left. While heading back, he notices that there's a girl getting bullied nearby. And as the bully is about to hit the poor girl, Shun makes a noise distracting the perpetrator to continue her strike. The bullies then decided to leave the girl alone, and Shun being nice, he picks up the book she was reading and returns it to her. She expresses her gratitude and heads back to the school. After the lesson, Oka roll calls everyone including Shinohara, who becomes Faye in the other world, Natsumi, who becomes Hugo, Hasebe, who becomes the saint, and Wakaba, who reincarnated as a spider in the lower stratum, including Ushima, who becomes Kadia, and Sasajima, whose location is still unknown. Back to the main character, she is checking her acquired skills so far and notices that the monitor is full of magic abilities that are available for her to use. She then explains to her intellectual self that thanks to her wisdom skill, it's a piece of cake for her to search the right information of knowing the descriptions of each abilities. So the next step that they will do, is just simply acquire these 3 requirements to obtain better magic spells. They already have the perception thingy and will go for the second one this time, which is the magic power operation. She must practice to manipulate her poison in such a way using the height of occultism. Finally is the transcribing of the runes. She must think of it like a pipe, and then put her magic inside of it, so her skill will materialize afterwards. Her apprentice self was amazed seeing that, and this finishes the lesson. The spider wanted to try now the unknown abyss magic of hers, and she starts trying to do the transcribing of the runes. Circle of lights appears above her, and as a beginner, she's having a difficult time executing the magic, and later it exploded to her face. But determined to use such a high-level magic, she still persists to figure out how to do it properly. But the other subconscious of hers is not on the same boat learning some impossible magic, and yet she is very adamant on becoming a magic master herself. The hat that they are vying for flies on mid-air, and then another persona appears before them and says, "Leave the magic to me." The two happily agrees in assigning the new persona to be in charge of magic. After that, while venturing deep into the cave, she notices a carcass of huge monster before her. Then she looks at the lava nearby, and now emerges this dragon with demonic eyes looking at her, and she appraises it as a fire dragon with an insane level stats. Although it seems like it has already taken damage from before, but still attacks her with great speed, and then burst out a fireball to her direction. More attacks bombarded her way, so she jumps high above it, thinking any strategy that comes into mind on how to defeat it. She now activates her 3 persona, that triggers her magic transcription skill. She hovers in mid-air, then bombarded the fire dragon with bullets of her poison magic. But still, the enemy is strong and counterattacks the spider by using its fireballs and its powerful tail. The dragon stares directly at her while she's using her evil eye, but it has no effect on it. While thinking now of her next move and moving at such fast rate, she thinks of a better idea of surrounding herself with weak poison magic that bounces off the fire being blasted at her. In mid-air, the dragon is persistent with its fire bullets bombarding the spider, but soon loses her grip with her web and starts falling. The hungry dragon jumps high, while opening its mouth wide open. She takes this opportunity to use her new advanced skill of Deadly Spider Poison Ultra Mega Mega Max. While her magic persona also helps by adding another layer of magic spell on it. Then she levels up again, gaining yet another persona, but is told to be quiet. Her victory is within reach using her final attack, but the enemy just on time uses its flamethrower once more and dissipates her poison magic. Good thing she manages to regain her balance and landed on a small pillar. She's looking now at the dragon, not knowing what to do next. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.